So good morning, Will, for a second time. Sorry about that technical glitch. So take two, as they say. So the lecture in the fourth in the series of this new world is entitled Creation of a Fact-Based Religion. The first in the series, as those that watched it, was based on new mathematics as contained within God. The second one was based on new science, which is also contained within God. So the facts are all within the manuscript, and I covered the generalization of the new mathematics and new science in the first and second lecture. So I'm not going to go over that again. Today, I just want to discuss why we need a new religion and how it can be defined as a facts-based religion. So I'm just going to share my screen, and this time, hopefully, I'll share it correctly and not screw up like I did last time. So, good. So this time it worked properly. So these are what I would term as the God equation. So the fundamental equation that led me to the fact that there is what I determine as a single omnipotent consciousness in this cosmos that we exist in, which is the technical scientific word for God. So the first divine God equation is that our universe exists as twin universes, a positive universe, which we humans live within, and an opposite, reverse, negative universe with the same amount of quantity of everything, but with reverse polarity. So E plus equals minus E minus. So that's a positive universe, and that's the negative universe. So that's, you can interpret that as equivalent to first law of thermodynamics. Those that know a little bit of physics know the first law of thermodynamics governs the conservation of energy. The second God equation that I determined is that the entropy, I'm not going to go too much detail because entropy is actually quite a complex quantity, as those that do physics know, is that the entropy defines the particle wave duality. In physics, there's a phenomenon known as that energy, photons of light can exist both like a Jekyll or Hyde, both as a solid particle, but also as a transient wave that occupies all space. So again, in this twin universe concept, I'm saying in the positive universe, we have positive increasing entropy, but in the negative universe, we have negative decreasing entropy. So, and again, so this leads to two conservation laws. So one is the energy conservation. So the total energy of the universe. Now I know there are some physicists that will cringe at that the total universe don't have a total energy. I dispute that. You can add energy up in any system. The universe is just a system. In fact, it's the most ideal adiabatic, isolated system imaginable. So you can add up the energy. Okay. So the total energy is just the total energy of the positive universe plus the negative universe. Now, on equation one, as you see, the negative and positive universe has the same amount of quantity, but in reverse. So if we add this all up, E total actually comes to zero. Now you say, well, what's the importance of that? Well, that's telling you the balance. Before creation, there was zero energy. After creation, there remains zero energy. Of course, we observe positive energy in our universe, but that's balanced out in the negative energy that occupies the other universe. And similarly, the entropy is also conserved in this dual universe. So the total entropy is just the entropy in the positive universe plus the entropy in the negative universe, which based on the particle wave duality equation 2, that also sums up to 0. So again, it's saying that before creation, there was 0 entropy or chaos, determining how you want to describe entropy. After the universe created, the balance is still 0. So the laws of thermodynamics that govern energy and entropy are perfectly balanced. So those are the fundamental energy entropy equations that defines why the twin universe is a real existence, since it obeys the laws of thermodynamics, which are the fundamental, I repeat, are the fundamental laws of physics. Every other physical, biological, economic, everything in our existence has to obey the law of thermodynamics. I just modify the laws of thermodynamics, or I enhance it, just like Einstein relativity enhanced Newtonian mechanics. Similarly, what I determine as the universal law of thermodynamics, upgrade the previous law of thermodynamics, which only applies to a single universe. This now applies to a twin universe. And on the right-hand side, this God equation chart, which I've written, this leads to 2 universes. So why can we not see the other side of the universe? Well, simple reason is the worlds are orthogonal. So those that know a little bit of math know complex numbers consist of a real number. So in this case, I define the real number as the positive universe. So Z is the combined cosmos equals Y, which is the positive universe, plus the imaginary component, which in this case X, is the negative universe. So those that knows science and mathematics knows that the 2 axes of the real and imaginary numbers are orthogonal. So if you try to measure it, like for example, in complex equation actually exists in real life in electrical components. A resistor is a real component, but an inductor and capacitor has what's known as reactant, which is equivalent to a resistance, but in an orthogonal way. So you cannot directly measure the imaginary components of the reactant of an inductor and a capacitor. So that's the equivalent of it, is that we cannot actually directly measure or view the opposite universe. So that's why we cannot see dark matter and dark energy, because they exist in the other negative universe. So you can feel the effect, just like, again, the analogy with electrical circuits, you can feel the effect of capacitor and you feel the effect of inductor. The effects are real. That's why computer electrical circuit work, because capacitors and inductors work. But you cannot actually directly measure the, quote, resistance of those components, because they're orthogonal to the real resistance, okay? So a little bit more math. In the real world, the base unit, that's the unity number, is 1. In the negative universe, the base unit or the unitary unit is I, which is the square root of -1. So if you add those 2 components, you square those, you get 0, which is a total energy, total entropy of the combined universes. Okay, then what I term as the other fundamental God equation. Again, I sort of briefly skimmed over the cosmic expansion. This equation is the only equation that calculates the expansion rate of the universe that matches consistently with experimental value. So I term this as the cosmic expansion rate, which defines dark energy. Not only defines it, but can quantitatively calculate a consistent value that is measurable with the universe. So this is UR, which is a rate of expansion, which is pi. G is the gravitational constant, as you find in the relativity constant. Rho m is the density mass of the universe, and c is the speed of light. So that's in the God equation. This is not in the God equation. I call this the cosmic attractor, or the love equation. So I'm not going to go into too much detail. It's extremely complex arguments. We'll probably have a lecture on whether one of the fundamental force of nature is love, where love is a force or not. I do define love as a force. So let me just stop sharing that now and get straight back. So anyway, so those are the equation, and that's what I define as the facts. So where does the God come into it? Well, the God comes into it if you believe, which I do, consciousness is a real property of our existence, and consciousness, which for humans are contained within the head, the brain, is an energetic process. So with the energetic process, it has to obey the laws of thermodynamics. Okay, so with the twin universe, that means if it's energetic process, then that energetic process must exist in both universes. So obviously in our universes, like on this planet, we have 7.8 billion human within our total consciousness. So in the negative universe, there also has to be our 7.8 billion twin human universes. But because the duality principle, where this is all individualized consciousness in the negative universe, all the consciousness are superimposed as one wave. So the consciousness is not just consciousness of humans, but other animals, other beasts, maybe even more advanced aliens in outer space. So that combined consciousness in the other universe generates what I term as the single omnipotent consciousness, aka God. So religion, the definition of religion is the worshipping or the believing in gods or gods. So by defining as a single omnipotent consciousness, this scientific religion, by that definition, is a monotheistic religion in the sense that it is but one God. Okay, just like there is but one single divine cosmic consciousness. So why do we need another religion? You know, there's plenty of religion out there, including monotheistic religion like the Abrahamic religion of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. So I'm going to share my screen again and just tell you why this religion is new and why I believe it is critical. Now, before I go that, the argument maybe, do we need religion? You know, I obviously believe that humanity do currently in our state of, well, you want to call it moral depravity. Yes, we do need religion. But I'm going to cover that in a separate lecture course of why we need religion. This one is just defining what's the difference of this fact-based religion. So this chart shows you on the left-hand corner, the facts-based religion, which I simply call one God, one religion. And on the right, I give examples of other religion. In this case, I'm comparing with other monotheistic religion, in this case, Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. So I'm just going to give you the difference between this single fact-based religion and these other traditional faith-based religion. So in this fact-based religion, God has no name. Before I have people say, well, you're calling it God, it's not a name. No, it's not a name. God is a noun, just like the universe. The universe is called universe. There's no name for our universe. We don't call our universe Tim, Bob, Charlie, Mary. I mean, you can if you want to, but people don't do that. So in this religion, God has no name. Obviously in Christianity, you have Christ, Allah, Yahweh. Then in the building or the religious places where people congregate for their various religions. So obviously in Christianity, you have the church, you have the mosque, you have the synagogue for those traditional religion. I just term this fact-based as a library. A library is a place where you accumulate books of knowledge. That's simply it. It is a book of knowledge. And that's the holy book, which is the God book, as you can see. Obviously, the other religion has the Bible, the Quran, and the Torah. So the doctrine of this new Bible, that I define it, is, as I said, fact-based, new mathematics, new science, which again, I covered in lecture 1 and 2, generalizing. Whereas all the other traditional faith-based religion is just that, it's based on faith, faith, faith. So the teaching of, well, I just clump it all as science, but as I mentioned, it actually contains mathematics as well. So I apologize to my fellow mathematicians, which get cringe lumping mathematics into science. Those that have known my previous posting, I now believe that mathematics is actually the fundamental of foundation upon which science and other physics, biology, chemistry are built on top. So in that sense, mathematics should actually be in that bracket as opposed to science. But as an arrogant physicist, I just lump it all as science. So whereas the teachings in all the other biblical texts are just stories. So, and the applications of those stories and those Bibles are simply to teach humanity morals. Whereas in this God book, yes, there are morals in there, but there's also, because of the new mathematics, new science, there's technology that will help humanity to advance into a new species that will allow us to explore the outer stars and inner spirit. Now, the leaders, you want to call it leaders, are those that preach the facts, or in our case, preach the content of the Bible. Obviously, in Christianity, you have priests. In Islam, you have imam, and in Judaism, you have rabbis. So they teach the morals. And to be honest with you, that to me is the problem, because you're having humans, invariably most cases men, that interpret story the way they want it to be interpreted. And I'll be honest with you, I personally don't think that is a good way, because as I mentioned to you, we regret humans have an angel on one side and a devil on the other side. And whenever you have the devil preaching their ways of morals, their ways of stories, then it doesn't get to an enlightened way. Okay, so obviously if you have good teachers, then you will get good teaching. Whereas in this, we have scholars. Scholars are there just to give out the facts of the math and the science. There's no, like I said, there's no interpretation needed. The facts are either right or they're wrong. Okay, the scholars are there just to deliver the knowledge and truth. Now, this is the big issue that I have with other religion, not just me, of course. I think a lot of people that have left religion or turned their spirituality and they're not religion, because of the schism that is created within the religion. Again, I'm not going to go into the history, read the history of the crusade, of the, the various inquisition, that various religion, and even now modern issues with religion. There are many problems with faith-based religion. I would say millions have been killed, millions have been raped, and trillions, you want to put economic value, trillions of dollars have been ruined because of religious war, religious conflict. Okay, science is universal. So I give here Einstein, the most famous equation in the world, E equals mc squared. There is no dispute. It's E equals mc squared. It's either right or it's either wrong. So science and everyone will say E equals mc squared. That's it. There's no dispute, no argument of which E equals mc squared is right or wrong. There is only one E equals mc squared. That's the beauty of fact. It is just purely fact. Okay, this is either right or it's either wrong. That's it. Okay, and finally, the advantage of this fact base is that we are now unifying religion to science. That is the ultimate beautiful premise of this fact-based religion, and which regrettably the other faith-based religion do not do. So not only is one God, one religion will unify all the faith-based religion into one, but it also ultimately will unify it into science, which it used to be thousands of years ago. The Greek philosophers used to be considered as religious teachers, as scientific teachers as well. And my idol, Isaac Newton and Einstein, were also great believers in a God, as in the greatest inventor of all time, Nikola Tesla, who claims he got his knowledge from the cosmos. Okay, so that is how the creation of this fact-based religion was done through facts. And in preceding lectures to come, obviously we'll cover into the various facts in more detail, and also the moral aspect. So as I mentioned to you, do we need a religion? I obviously believe we do, and we'll cover that in other preceding lectures to come. So I want to thank you again all for your patience, and I apologize again for the glitch, technical glitch this morning. And I hope you find these lecture courses interesting. So I definitely enjoy delivering this knowledge and truth, which I generally believe is definitely needed for this new world that is coming. So thank you again. God bless you all.